Probably going to target that sort of top jungle champion pool that we've seen be so prominent so far from Final Gen.
Yeah, when you've been seeing Toppy's performances, if I was on Team Variety Bucket, I really would want to cut out some of these champions. The fact that the AP Jax, while that game didn't go exactly to plan, the AP Jax is such a crazy pocket pick to pull out and honestly make work to some extent.
Yeah.
And look at that, an assassin ban. You know who that's for?
Yeah, you don't want to leave that talent up for Erdogan. That is a death sentence immediately here. As on the other side, it will be that Cassiopeia away from Incept, so taking away that sort of control artillery mage style from Incept that we've seen so much of.
Yeah, it's a shame he's not going to be, I believe he might be relegated to a defensive duty now. As look, there it is, the Xin Zhao ban, just as we talked about, it is not going to be allowed to be played in this game at least.
Yeah, we'll have to see where this second ban goes here for Final Gen. If they continue towards that, just going to take away the Mordekaiser. That's going up against
Cannot let
SK
Knight on that Mordekaiser.
Still has that Yorick in the back pocket.
Oh, and I would love to see that. I would absolutely love to see that. I think this third ban is very crucial for both teams. Ow, a Vladimir ban. Toppy's Vladimir. Yes,
I've seen Toppy's Vlad before, and it's been a bit scary.
Yes, Vladimir's a strange champion, a difficult one to make work in a sort of comp where everyone has so much communications, they can work around that pool. And we're going to be banning out Anivia as well. Interestingly enough, a hard counter to Vladimir. No one's able to play either one. Incept is going to have to go on these backrunner picks that he's been practicing as we get a Silas first pick lock-in.
Definitely scared about that one not making it through the rest of the draft. Probably going towards Fiso in the jungle, but definitely has some flex potential towards mid if they so choose. Wukong Oriana, a very strong mid jungle duo to counter though.
Yeah, I think Silas is such an interesting pick to take first because it warps what the enemy team has to pick in terms of ultimates. You know, they've got to have to think through everyone, and they certainly can't give him an Alistar or anything now.
Yeah, there is so much spatial control here for Final Gen. It's going to be very interesting to see how things go. Pantheon.
I love a Panth.
In here.
Love a Panth.
That could be, could be a bit of a flex at this point. Oh, hang on.
SK Knight's Renekton. A very nice pick.
A little bit scary.
Really nice pick. We're getting a very bruisery frontline comp from Variety Bucket. I imagine they'll be looking to get a very long-range ADC to sort of play in that front-to-back style. We're going to see how Final Gen counters. But honestly, Variety Bucket's comp, I love how aggressive it is. I love seeing a Pantheon and Renekton together. And that's enough for Toppy.
This is incredibly skirmish heavy for both of these teams to start off. Variety Bucket, these next bans to come on through will be the Varus for Final Gen, taking that away from Daisy. So that long-range AD carry that you were talking about, going to be off the table. The Ezreal as well. They don't want these tools. They want everyone to be as close together as possible.
They really do. And this is going to be a game for Toppy. With all these frontline bruisers, if he can manage this rage and get a couple good engages, a couple good ults off, it could really spell the doom for Variety Bucket, truly. So we get the final ban, which will be a Poppy.
Yeah, good ban to take away. I mean, look at all the dashes on the side of Variety Bucket. You don't want to leave that up, even as a support option for style, right? Like that. That's not a situation you want to be in. Yanara going to be locked in. Even more of that close range skirmish potential here for that pick.
Not very long range. It seems both teams very much want to double down. And speaking of close range ADCs, speaking of which, it's going to be really good team fights. These are going to be close.
Oh, and the Alistar as
well. Holy.
We're going to see like a Leona, something to come out here.
Without a doubt, it's going to be an engage.
Yeah.
Swear on anything, it will be an engage champ.
Yeah. There it is, the Braum.
Bit of peel, less engaged, but still front line, close up. These are two strong comps. These are very strong comps.
They have one movement option, and it is going straight in.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that goes back to what we were talking about in regards to this early tempo. Whoever gets ahead, they are going to be able to deathball, steamroll, and take over. And I'm liking Variety Bucket's early game. I really am. Stylus Renekton.
Pantheon mid.
Oh, Incept's Pantheon mid. See, I had that completely swapped around the other way. Now, into the Orianna, it's tough. It could be a really tough matchup.
Yeah, I mean, it all depends on if you can close that range, if you can land that W, the Empowered, get all of those stacks, and then just stab through. That's probably like 30% of this Orianna's health bar, really.
Yeah, and take a look at this as we get into game. Incept's actually chosen to go the Doran's Blade first. A very greedy item. No Doran's Shield. And if I can take a look, no Doran's Shield. It's gonna be very tricky if he takes this early poke damage into the range matchup.
This is going to be incredibly skirmish heavy here. So I believe spotted out Incept didn't see Phyto. That bush.
Yeah, take a look. We've got a bit of an invade in the top side as well. Who has the prio in these lanes here? Oh, Phyto.
Spotted. Hang on a moment. Phyto's
by
in
himself.
Deep here. Saw might be in a bit of trouble around the corner. Abscond, abduct, half health done. Look at SK Knight. Could look to go in. And immediately that's first blood. And off to the start already. Off to the races, rather. And they get out for free.
That is going to be a really good start for Incept there. Picking up the kill. It's going to be exactly what he wants as a Pantheon mid. It was a perfect bait from Fido, just sort of blind walking in the jungle by himself. But the other teammates, like, take a look at this SK Knight moving instantly.
Oh, we got the replay as well.
Took such a huge trade from Incept at the start that he just didn't even want to flash away there, at least saving that summoner spell.
You cannot underestimate that level 1 Comet Spear, right? It gets, I think it's like a 4-second cooldown, something like that, if you tap it.
It certainly
is. In those short trades, it is so incredibly dangerous here. Still has the lead in lane. There's that range you were talking about. There's a bit of trading in the bot lane. Could possibly be in favor of Final Gen for the moment, but heal going to be forced here. Nice shot on the Plasma will secure this lane for Variety Bucket, at least for now.
Yeah, with that Braum, in terms of aggressive plays, it's going to be a little bit tricky, especially with, look at the trading pattern in mid. It's miserable for Incept to not get a back off. Looks like he's going for it now. Taking the TP, he's going to be able to get back to lane. Simple time.
We'll have that extra 400 in the bank, so going to back and get a fair amount here.
Picking up the boots
I mean, you can see the lack of that Doran's shield is really paying the price. Boots and the refill is going to be the purchase here. Not enough to get much progress towards the Black Cleaver, towards the Sundered Sky, or any of these items at this point. As Vision, I believe, was spotted by the way that
there does seem to be a ward in the top jungle. In terms of summoner spells, though, we've got a pretty decent spread over both sides, and this really reflects the team fight style. We've got the TPs on both top laners, the TPs on both mid laners. But what I like at least about Variety Bucket's comp is with that Grand Starfall, Pantheon has just a little bit of extra movement. So if we get a scuffle in the jungle, he is going to be there first.
And even styled, right, with the Unsealed Spellbook, can definitely have
teleport
at his disposal. These team fights, they could be, like 9 people in bot lane at, 5 minutes in or something crazy like that. I mean, I don't even know what these teams are capable of. We've seen an invade to start things off, and probably just even more action from here on out. Phyto continuing to scale up, nearly level 5. On that Stylus and looking
in terms of team fighting, with how sort of with how frontliney, with how snowbally both teams are, the Dragons are really going to play a very big role.
Double stun's going to be traded, barrier as well, but not much else.
Flash needed,
skirmish
on both sides, but these Dragons are going to be the most important objectives, just in terms of getting as much stats as possible into such a sort of stat checky double comp. In terms of, you know, the dream situation, the dream sequence, you know, the Wukong Cyclone engage with the Orianna, with the Ravage and everything. Incept takes a very decent trade. And then combined with the Gnar,
yeah.
it's really, there is a perfect storm for Final Gen. And I'm wondering if we're going to get that perfect storm in this game.
We'll definitely have to see. A little bit less action than I was expecting at this point. No ganks to come through yet. I mean, it's expected, I would say, from the Wukong to just be farming up, get that Cyclone online, then contest for some of these objectives. Phyto now. Ward will spot. They're going to go in, though. Hits level 6 in time, misses the E-Flash, and now might get out of there in time. Bit of a misplay there from Phyto that might cost them any sort of advantage here towards that top lane.
A really unlucky bit of micro there, and as that Gnar hit 6 and is forced to flash, Toppy certainly could have fought that just due to that slight error in regards to the flash E. Very unfortunate indeed. As we just get waves pushed in now.
Full control of this dragon, right? Getting an early ocean online,
yeah,
it's not going to be too shabby.
Certainly going to aid this sort of tanky front line, and Phyto no flash for the next 5 minutes is really going to make Erdogan just have complete control over a majority of these objectives.
No chance that they will contest this, so just back to the status quo, back to farming out here, getting those ultimates online as the Drake will be picked up and one step closer to maybe getting these feats of war here for Final Gen.
Yeah, those boots, those upgraded boots will also make a difference as movement speed for Variety Bucket seems to be a lot more useful than it is for Final Gen. Of course, move speed is one of the best stats in the game, but with such a comp that relies around dodging the full combo of Final Gen, Variety Bucket really needs to be on the ball and to be able to dodge these key abilities.
Yeah, good fight here. SK Knight, that's a level 6. Silas on the way, has the hijack available. He's going to take it, so they could look for something, but you can immediately see those pings to come out. TP up from Soar as well, so recognize that and probably they're not going to go for it. Just going to clear things out here, pop the Dominus. They're going to go for the dive. Do they have the position to work with? Possibly into the wall. Cyclone come on through. Big chunk of damage. They have the kill. Phyto picks up that one. Looking for potentially more. But Erdogan forced to flee for the hills. Incept half health. Forced up. Saw might have the angle to work with. Phyto incredibly low. Shockwave, where's the angle to come on through? Flash stun. Not going to land anything. The shield does so much damage. Two-man Shockwave, and the kill is traded on back. Do they have enough to get out of this? That's a third kill going over, so they will claim the feat of warfare. But the extended fight goes in favor of Final Gen, and it might not even be over just yet. Phyto, what can you do in this situation? Maybe get out, but the Raptors will take you down. It's a rumble in the jungle, and the kills will be equalized.
Variety Bucket taken down by their own logo there as the chickens take out Phyto's life. It was a really decent little dive and catching out the Wukong as well, forcing him to ult, at least defensively, was very good, but the collapse from Final Gen coming through really, really effectively. Too much damage. Incept had taken a little bit too much damage in this laning phase due to the range melee difference. So as he ran Starfall top, as he came top, he was only half health and he couldn't afford to fight such an extended team fight in the top jungle.
And that bone plating as well from Sword just mitigated so much damage from that jump. I mean, we saw just then how brutal this lane is for the Pantheon early on, right? It doesn't even have anything close to an item online, and the phase rush, just the movement speed to get out of harm's way, is so incredibly powerful in this matchup. As Void Grubs, all three of them going to be picked up here for Final Gen, one objective away from securing that, as
Phyto is pinging to go in.
Both those supports, like Ships in the Night. Okay, gets it with the smite at the very least. Now over the wall. Phyto just says a little bit of a how do you do and steals away the ult. Flash in, looking for it. Nice flash from Style. They'll get out to safety for the moment. 3 there. Recognizing Shockwave available. Not going to go for any more action there. Gold lead, still 500 in favor of Variety Bucket.
Yeah, in terms of action, it's been decently low. We can take a look at the gold differences here, which are very equal over the map. It really is incredibly equal on pretty much both sides here, which I think is in more favor to Final Gen's comp. I think Final Gen has the better scaling, has the final late game comp, and even with the Silas being able to steal some of these more important ults, this Gnar ult, Braum ult and stuff like that. I do think in terms of a longer game, that's what Final Gen is looking for. And it's not ideally going in the way of Variety Bucket with these early objectives taken away. SK Knight forced to flash.
Forced to flash, yeah. Away from that Glacial Fissure, didn't really want that smoke, and now River Control going to be conceded on over. As we head towards this next Drake in 45 seconds, probably can be firmly in control of Final Gen here.
It truly hasn't been a bot lane game. There hasn't really been anything going on in bot lane. And in terms of prio, Erdogan has pretty much had that bot scuttle for a majority of the game. It really it hasn't wanted to be contested by Fido, and Fido has specifically chosen never to contest it. So it's interesting to see if these plays topside will work out for them. Both bot lanes just allowed to scale pretty freely, all things considered.
TP's on the way for both of our top laners as Fido and Erdogan, a little bit of a skirmish for the moment, lands the plasma and the killer instinct might just find him. Erdogan is caught out of position. The kill immediately traded on over. They have control of the objective a little bit for at least now.
Yeah, beautiful Comet Spear and Grand Starfall from Incept. Not even losing a wave for his troubles. The mobility of Pantheon mid coming into play. That's definitely been planned because Orianna just has no way that she can follow a roam such as that, and seemingly not enough wave clear to even make him lose a little bit of CS for his sacrifice, as they will go contesting each other here.
No chance of a steal on that objective as Incept just continuing to try and make this trade, but with the items you've got a tunneler, and that's basically it. It's, thrift store components at this moment. Finally has the Sun of the Sky on board, so maybe can do something, but even then it's going to be a rough time fighting this Orianna.
It's interesting to see the thought process behind the Doran's Blade on Incept, because I've just noticed, honestly, he's taken this Conqueror, which is rare for taking Doran's Blade as well, because if you're looking for
like Electrocute,
you can go Electrocute, you can go PTA, and so I'm sort of I'm going to question what his aim for this early game has been. And it's worked out for him. And as he gets into these team fights, it will be a lot better. Having that Conqueror is really good for extended team fights, but it certainly has made, this early laning phase a bit of a trouble for him, as we did see him come half health in that top team fight, leading to Variety Buckets down. But they have sort of recaptured the gold lead, sitting at 1k for them.
Culls close to completion for both of these 80 carries, just trying to stack them up as much as possible. Both have the Kraken Slayer online. We've got a minute 50 until that Rift Herald, so going to see a big fight around it for sure. Just continuing to scale for these objectives. We don't know where Artican will spawn, but presumably towards this top side, where majority of the action has been so far. Back to the regularly scheduled farming in all three lanes at the moment.
Yeah, peaceful. A real peaceful game. Yeah. Even though there has been some fighting, it's not a high action game. There's been those brief bouts, but both teams, neither one wants to really pull the trigger. I'm keeping my eyes on the Dark Seals, though. We've got Fido with a Dark Seal, and we have Saw with a Dark Seal. I want one of these to be turned into a Medjay's eventually.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, to your point, both these teams not really wanting to take those risks. Hang on a moment, Saw could be in a bit of trouble. Grand Starfall going to come on through in a moment. Good Shockwave gets him out. Shout out to Star as well for the redemption. Fido could be in a lot of trouble. Gets his own Shockwave in, and now the TP's to come on through, and they might be a bit out of position for the moment. Variety Bucket, good for one to start things off. Arcway's finally here, has the ult popped over the wall, looking for it. Might have enough to secure it. There will. The flash and the Q, the Acathian Rain, will secure that 6-3, and Variety Buckets somehow make that work.
Yeah, that looked bad after the Orianna. In fairness, Frog there cancelling the phase rush from Saw meant that the escape wasn't really possible. And then Saw, the beautiful Orianna ult, just turned that completely half health in both of them. But what really changed that fight was Incept once again. Grand Star falling in, applying the damage needed to take down Saw. As we can see here, it was a perfect counter engage from Saw. And then you get the Brawl ult here as well. Fido goes down so low, but that's Silas healing. Kingmaker healing him up. Look at that health, right up to half again. Incept doing just enough damage and then flashing over the wall to catch Aqua out as well. Beautiful flash from Daisy to follow. And that's going to be a good kill on that Kai'Sa.
And there was a silent hero of that fight. SK Knight, you could probably see his health bar was incredibly low. Dove under the tower to stop the TP and prevent Toppy from joining that fight, from teleporting to that tier 1 tower. That could have been disastrous for Variety Bucket if it went off. So quick shout out to him for that play.
I didn't even pick that up. That's great vision. A Gnar ult at that time would have been disastrous. That truly would have spelt a bad ending. But take a look. What I'm keeping track of, those Darksteel stacks all gone from Saw now as Fido picks up his second. Very nice.
Ripping a few pages out of that book. As Incept could potentially be in a lot of trouble. I mean, look at this, right? The Blackfire Torch provides so much, and that bone plating as well. Saw about half health. Could they choose to dive this?
They really could.
Now, Cyclone
Incept
available.
Just used his E.
They can absolutely go for this, yeah. Has the ultimate going to use it? And immediately, they're just going to run him down. Give the kill on over the shutdown. 529. Erdogan says, thank you very much. They'll get the Herald mid at the very least, so trying to push for this tower, but it won't be the first.
First tower.
First going towards that bot lane, So now it's all going to come down to these objectives. Chemtech up in 5.
This tower's not being taken easily, though.
Yeah, you'd think probably that you'd use that Rift Herald to pressure mid while you go for the objective. Flash on in, gets the Pulverize back, the Insect, and it works out this time around. Aqua going to fall on down. That might be the lead they're looking for. No Cyclone here for the Wukong, but they're still going to push on in. Frog falls, Dominus propped, and now they're running for the hills. Grand Starfall, but you're a bit too far in. Hang on a moment, Incept. This is maybe not where you want to be. Chain CC'd into oblivion. And there's the double kill for the mid laner. Those stacks are coming right back up, baby.
We've seen a couple Grand Starfalls cause the demise of the tempo of the team, and it was unlucky from Incept, who had such a good flank. But that Gnar, Toppy managing his rage bar so perfectly to have a full rage stacked and ready to just bring that Pantheon wherever he so decided. Feats of strength going over. Look at the damage from Saw here as well. The moment he comes into this fight, half healthing pretty much all of them, and just turning what looked at the start to be a nice little catch out into a true disaster.
And you can see that Incept had already planned out the ultimate and couldn't go back from it at the end of it all. Double kill going over to this Orianna. That's exactly where you don't want the gold to be. Like you mentioned, feats of strength have been completed, so they will have those empowered boots available. That's going to make this Orianna incredibly, even more scary, especially against a team that doesn't really build a whole lot of magic resistance.
Yeah, and something I am loving from Saw is this more aggressive build, as styled already on half health here.
Could be potentially caught out over the wall. Fido, maybe this isn't where you want to be exactly. The stun to come on through. Redemption gets him out to safety. And the Shockwave going to be flashed for the moment. Cyclone will end up securing the kill. Saw is on a killing spree. Might give another one over. And that's a fully stacked Dark Seal immediately. Another double kill on the board for this Orianna.
Just what I was saying. This Orianna, I love Saw's build. Instead of going the usual, I'll go the tier, I'll go very safe with the Roa, he's gone for the damage. Look at that. Blackfire and a Horizon focus to boot. I love it. I love it. This is how Orianna should be played, getting in there and getting these damaging combos off. And you're just seeing how much damage she's able to put out.
Yeah, none of that cowardly sustain and health and
tanky mid
extra
laners.
mana. Ew, gross.
Choo-choo.
Might have a Medjai's in that Christmas present.
I'm
waiting for Saw. We'll have to see. As, oh, hang on a moment. Aqua could be caught out here. Killer Instinct to chase. Gets the shield. Plus the Braum. Might be enough. Blocking behind, but it won't be. And Daisy's on a killing spree. Forced to Ghost as well. Frog's here to join. Hang on a moment. This Kai'Sa could be the key to saving this game. As Frog gets another big chunk of damage from Saw, but forced to run for the hills. Flash over the wall. No follow-up for the moment. Have they gone too deep is the question. Erdoran's on the way. They do have Toppy now TP. So it will be a 2v3.
Oh, there's no chance they start this Atacon with Daisy on such little health.
Frog over the wall. Might have been a bait. Have they spotted it? This might be bad for the Alistar. Dominus going to be proc. There's multiple here now. The Grand Starfall. Hang on a moment. They might have turned this game instantly. Abscond, abduct, Cyclone in. And there's the kill. And a free Atacon immediately. They get away with robbery here.
That was brilliantly played by Team Variety Bucket. They baited those two in. Erdoran and saw them start that Atacon, and I myself was stunned. I saw Daisy on such little health. There's no way they can just do an Atacon here. And watch the flank. Daisy gets a very nice little trade here on Aqua, even though played beautifully by Styled on that Braum. Watch this Alistar. Watch what Frog does. You know, yes, gets that kill, but then moves back, but flanking into the Dragon Pit to get this Wukong out of here. You have the Grand Starfall from Incept, and then Fido's just here. What can you do? She already traded Flash for Flash. It was such a good bait and switch from Team Variety Bucket. I love it.
And this Artican is only going to continue to stack up. I mean, 9 petals for the side of Final Gen. Now that's going to completely outscale these boots eventually. We do see the empowered ones here for Saw. Saw has been the shining hope for this team, and now they might be able to catch Incept. They have a lot of damage, and they spot this TP. So they're just going to back off for the moment, recognizing maybe this isn't exactly the fight we want to go for. We're just going to take some farm around the map. Toppy's going to continue to scale. We're going to try and go for the late game.
Yeah, getting that TP out before this Drake spawns, though, will be good as... Take a look.
Good ult there from Erdoran, stopping the headbutt pulverized combo from Frog. That could have been disastrous heading in towards this Chemtech in 30 seconds. A lot of movement here towards this bot side. We can see Saw has the ultimate available. 2.5 items here for Aqua, including that grievous wound. So going to be a bit difficult if they choose to contest this, but it looks like they might give up pressure on Chemtech for now, but that will give Final Gen soul point.
Yeah, it certainly will make it, and with that Chemtech soul, getting that extra durability at low health into a frontlining brawl comp, that's really what you want.
That's going to be nasty with this Wukong for sure.
Really
that's going to be
absolutely.
They're going to get it for free. No contests either.
Yeah, 0.
They're pushing into the top side jungle here, which is an interesting gambit. Hopefully, you'd imagine that they're trying to catch out Aqua. Maybe find an angle. Ooh. Good dodge on the shockwave there from Toppy.
Reaction on Toppy.
Going back on in. Doesn't land the Gnar, but the double pulverize in. They've got the Wombo and the combo. Will it be enough? Kill Instinct in. And now SK9 might be in a bit of trouble. The AD carry, Aqua, free hitting for the moment. Incept, incredibly low. That's 1 kill on over. Looking for another, and that's the Yanara damage. A double kill secured. And this entire plan has just completely crumbled. Erdoran continuing to go on in. Has the Cyclone. The bonk is enough. And SK Knight running for the hill. Maybe gets away with the blast cone, but the extra range is there. Another double kill as well, and it's just Fido, the captain, left standing.
Wow, and personally, I was just about to sort of judge, or less so judge, but inquire as to Aqua's build, going for that rune on second. Surprise, because you're trading damage for teamfight capabilities, but we see it here. Auto. Look how many autos are going out, shredding the side of Variety Bucket. And even though, the Grand Starfall from Incept is here. He can't get the Q execute onto Toppy. Those, unironically, I would go as far to say the Feats of Warfare upgraded plated steel caps was the one thing that kept Toppy alive through that Comet Spear. And then Erdogan, who has been silently farming, silently getting very fed, has so much damage to follow up and catch out those two other members.
And I think part of this is the lack of damage from this Pantheon, right? Yeah. Incredibly strong early game, but the Sundered Sky and the Black Cleaver, it's not exactly the damage powerhouse that you're hoping that this carry mid laner has at their disposal, right? You're sort of hoping potentially for more of the lethality or even more of those sort of high damage bruisers as opposed to the sustained bruiser comp.
I agree so completely. Especially when you have this Renekton, Sylas, and Alistar, you already have a beefy frontline. You don't need to go Sundered into Black Cleaver. I just think that's just a bit of overkill. And picking up an Eclipse first for Incept certainly would have allowed for more damage to come through in his build. We can see this Renekton top, which has gone Stride Breaker. So immediately starting with the sort of more team fighty items.
Cut the camera.
Yeah. Don't pay attention to that. But he's gone for the Spear of Shojin, where I think a trade could have occurred as SK Knight is frontlining very well. Instead of the Spear of Shojin, the Black Cleaver could have gone over to SK Knight, and Incept could have allowed to pivot into a more damaging a build. And we really are seeing that lack of damage in some of these fights that certainly would have cleaned up Toppy, and then you would have got the Triumph healing as we get a contestant of vision, as this Baron is certainly looked at by both teams.
The boots now completed for Mr. Topham in the top lane here. This Gnar has been a silent bit of a carry here for the team, has landed the ults when needed, has been that big tank that this 2-item Gnar is really capable of in those fights. Nearly 3,000 health. We can see Petals just not really stacking up fast enough to compete like we would have expected given how that other Khan fight went.
For such a slow-paced game, and we take a look at the gold difference in regards to just about a 1k gold lead on the side of Final Gen, it's actually really even. Well, like even with these, if you actually look at the Final Gen has a lot of bounties, but in terms of items and the gold split, it's pretty even to give them these bounties as well. So if Variety Bucket can pick up these bounties, the gold will skyrocket in their favor as we get a huge engage here.
Going on in Fido, a bit caught out for the moment. The Grand Starfall rather, not in the position that they're looking for. Flash over the wall, looking for an angle, 3-man shockwave, and that might be the damage they're looking for. Looking at the fight, how does the rest of it go? They just don't have the damage to take them all down. Look at the health bars, they're so low, but it's just Daisy left standing, and they're going to rush right towards that Baron.
Yeah, I mean, what Daisy wants to do is Killer Instinct in, but look at the defensive tools, and now the Zhonya's
might have enough, but it won't be. And that's the damage difference. That's the Shattered Arm Guard there for you.
That Orianna would not be doing that with a Roa and a Seraph, so I'll tell you that right now.
I mean, that entire fight, right? That Shockwave holding onto it for the perfect moment there. Shout out to Saw for that. You know, it takes a lot of discipline to not use the ult early there and look for the anglers instantly into this replay. Good block there on the Killer Instinct from that Cyclone, and then just instantly lines him up, takes him down. And only one traded in turn. That's Aqua falling. They'll have a big gold lead here, 3k just about, going in towards this Baron. It's about 5k now.
Soul.
And they're going for Soul as well. They want all of these buffs. No vision in the pit thanks to the empowered
he's gonna go
Scuttle
for it.
Looking for it. Oh, it doesn't manage to get the steal. I mean, you got to go for the attempt, but it's not going to work out this time around. Chemtech Soul completed, and this team is off to the races.
Yeah, certainly online. Them being online is an understatement. A flash in from Erdogan.
It's going to flash for it. Don't know if that's entirely worth it, but just flexing, I guess. They're going to push towards mid.
They can afford to. They truly
they can
afford to. This Baron, the siege, the deep push on the side of Variety Bucket is very limited. There's nothing really that they can do to actually get onto these minions, which is going to make this siege so strong.
And look at how they just shred through it. Redemption healing up everyone as well from those minor tower shots they took. They are taking everything here at their disposal. They've got the vision coming in as well. Shockwave going to land. Incept incredibly low, and Frog immediately sent right back into the team. Isn't going to last long. 29 minutes, and we may not get many more. There's another inhibitor will fall on down. They're going to look for the end here. Fido chunked a big amount. No ults available just yet from Final Gen. First tower gone, going to be destroyed. They're looking for another. Dominus doesn't have any room to work with just yet. Looking to flash on in, might be able to have the angle. Nah, back into the team. Fido might have saved them, but how long will it go? Lands the Q. That's the stun on towards Daisy. The double Zhonya's and the stun to come on through again. It's just up to Toppy. Can they secure it? That's a double kill for the Nah. Has a third. It's just Frog left standing for the moment. Incept on the way, so no end just yet.
Not on my watch, says Fido. Not on my watch. I will fight tooth, nail, and chain. What a beautiful, an absolutely beautiful stolen Gnarl, hitting 4 members, as we can see here. Look at that.
That gave me Faker flashbacks right there.
That was... He knew there was a way back into this game, and that certainly was, as we also have to account a lot of shutdowns going over onto the side of Variety Bucket. Yes, they're down Nexus turrets. Yes, they're down inhibs, but they did just get a nice influx of gold. Still a big gold lead, but it certainly is something. It's certainly something to look at. We've got this, and I just wanted to pay quick attention to Silas doing so as well. We did see a lot of damage, but with that, I personally can't understand it. We've got that Bloodletter's Curse on the Silas here. I'm not certain. With the lack of AP damage, yes, you have this Kai'Sa, but that's your only other AP damage. And choosing to not go for a more aggressive approach on the Silas certainly has played a role, as we sort of mirror that with this Pantheon mid lane.
Yeah, you'd sort of expect maybe a completion of that Zhonya's first, maybe even going towards something like the Death Cap, which can be incredibly powerful for those ultimate steals. As going on in, Aqua going to be caught out for the moment. The Cyclone buys a lot of space in towards the wall, caught out with the TP from behind. The Dominus is here. Maybe this is the angle they're looking for on towards the side for the moment. Killer Instinct lands the angle, the double kill for SK Knight, and now it's just 2 left standing. Somehow the fight goes in Final Gen's favor. For the moment, they're forced to run for the hills.
Yeah, it turned completely. Maybe that extra gold from the shutdowns. We saw the Silas and Kai'Sa double engage, and the damage was ludicrous. We get the flank from SK Knight, but watch that Orianna ult. It did not really make any impact in that fight. SK Knight's able to get on Saw, and Toppy is here for the counter engage, but it's just not enough. Look at Fido. Watch Fido. The chains hitting onto Saw, combined with the Prey Seekers from Daisy. The damage is immense. This game is not out just yet, certainly.
Both these teams, it's a bloodbath. No one wants to go home today. And it's showing 46 kills in 33 minutes. Gold is only down to that 5k lead at the moment. Still a long way to surmount, though. A minute and a half left until that Elder Dragon. A minute for Baron. So few objectives up and on the way. Frog might be caught out at the moment here. This could be disastrous. Glacial Fissure prevents anything from going on in, and they're just going to get this kill for free. And pretty disastrous positioning here from the support.
That's really unfortunate. In terms of the fact as well, I think it became known Incept did TP behind, and he has nothing to run away with. He's got the GA, and take a look at Final Gen. No one is helping Incept. No one wants to even try. They want to trade for this mid tower. It's going to fall very quick.
I thought maybe with the Guardian Angel he would last a little bit, but look at that damage. It's crazy. They get one tower, potentially the inhibitor as well. But still, losing two this close to these objectives is going to prove potentially crucial to the win here. They're going even more aggressive. Hang on a moment. As meanwhile, they're sending a sneaky Baron on over. And they don't even suspect a thing. I think the rest of the team is here defending the base, backing, getting those items. No, they've stolen this away under the noses of Variety Bucket, and they're going to rush directly towards this Elder, not even backing to get that gold. They want this win now.
Certainly, certainly, as they're going to have the buff from the
Baron.
Another person caught out.
Glacial Fissure, the stun is there. Toppy, legendary, 9-1 on this Gnar. Has had a sleeper game. It's popped off so far. Frog doesn't have the spell, but no smite available. Fido over the wall, has to try and steal this. Can he do it? 4K on the board, looking for the angle, and he finds it. The steal is there, falls for it at the very least. But the steal could be the thing that keeps them in this tournament.
Daisy having access to this Elder. Toppy wants
flash,
something.
The slow
reaction.
Frog is going to be caught out for the moment. Incept on the way. But it's just the two of them left standing. 20 seconds on SK Knight. Can they hold?
What
Grand
is this?
Starfall. He's trying to clear the wave. He's trying to stop any Baron involvement in this approach. But the buff is going to come in soon. You got to imagine. It's going to empower them for a little bit. Incept might have saved it there. And this is just our first game of the night.
This is crazy,
Daisy
what happened
goes
here?
forward there, looks for one, maybe finds another, doesn't have the damage just yet, but look at Incept's positioning. Comet Spear over the wall, lands the stun, but no execute on SK Knight. It will be Aqua falling on down. What is going on, Hallow?
This is absurd. It is back and forth. It's a game of catch-outs. We started in that top jungle. We started.
Where do we start?
Because
that was just like a minute and a half of fighting.
Here. Frog getting caught out. Incept saying, "Don't worry, Frog. I'm inbound." The TP going up, but it's just the domino falling after domino falling, which led to this Baron being able to be taken. But then the next domino, I don't even understand it. It was a perfect trade. SK Knight next domino, of course, getting caught out as well. 1, 2, 3 members of Team Variety Bucket. But Fido, I'm not done yet. I will fight, and I will fight. I'll take the Elder. Frog caught out again. It is another domino falling, but that's not all, because look, Daisy was caught out as well. The Elder going down on that Kai'Sa, but take a look, it's still too greedy, as on the other side, Aqua will be caught out.
How you feeling, man? How you feeling?
It's crazy! The fact that this game is still going. We had that zoom in on that choo-choo train, and I thought, okay, you know, the Nexus turrets, they were allowed to be spawned again, but the game will cut out pretty shortly. No, we will continue this. We will keep this going. It is anyone's game, as full builds are pretty much over the board here on both sides. It is late game. It certainly is.
Yeah, that gold lead is going to matter less and less as the minutes continue to drag on here. Incept does not have his Guardian Angel for this next fight, as they're looking for something towards the mid lane here. Can you contend with this Cloud, with this Chemtech Soul is the question. Hijack has stolen away the Gnar ult. Banshee Veil going to be procced on towards Saw. There is a big angle here for fight. For Fido, rather, almost choked on myself in anticipation. They've got no angle for the fight.
The fact that you can speak throughout what is going on is a testament to itself. And what I love to see is Fido taking this Gnar ult. We've already seen such a strong one, such a strong use here. Gnar ulting.
Slow. Erdogan going a bit aggressive, considering the rest of the team. As look at those W's. Look at that damage here from Daisy. Can continue to put it out. And now, where do they go from here? 2 minutes on that Baron. They went coast to coast with the objectives last time around after those catch-outs. Now with the mid control, the Variety Bucket has at their disposal, they can definitely threaten in a lot of ways.
They certainly can. And with Aqua early using of that ult, they get a lot of prio and they're able to take these towers, these side towers now, as the smart play for Final Gen is to just wait. We need everything. We need all our resources available because one team fight decides the game at this late stage, a 40-minute banger of a game.
And now that this Sylas is late game, that ult has like an 8-second cooldown, right? You can steal multiple ults in a fight. So definitely keep an eye out for Fido coming up here. Interesting purchase here though. Aqua has that hourglass, rather the arm guard. So we'll have that one time Zhonya's going in towards the next fight. Let's see if they get close to upgrading it on this back, but it will be upgraded in towards that Zhonya's. It's looking to get a lot of information, a lot of vision around this objective. Fido, all eyes on the captain. Can he bring back redemption for this team after what looked like a done deal? That is
He's done it twice. He's done it twice. And honestly, I think if anyone was going to do it for a third time, it's going to be him. It's sort of these late games, once you hit this point, it is a vision game. The eyes, while they are on Fido, they're actually on the supports. If we can catch someone out, if there's one misstep where we have eyes where they don't. And also, another important factor is Soar, of course. With all this damage, with that Darksteel 10 stacks, they're going to start. Speaking of vision,
they start it with the redemption at the very least. Can they stop Erdogan from entering in towards the pit? 3k available. They've got the Baron secured, but at the cost of the support for the moment. Grand Starfall to come on in. The Guardian Angel going to be propped. Look at the health bars for the moment. Fido has the angle to work with. Lands one. Killer Instinct over the top. Looking for another. Toppy incredibly low. Saw going to fall one down in just a moment, and this might be it. Variety Bucket led by Fido. They're going to do it. They're rushing down the lane. They've got the numbers. They've got the timers to work with. Is this it?
Wow. I mean, that was a crazy team fight, a beautiful distraction play. And as we talked about, that vision so important, the Baron was down to about 6k health before Final Gen even noticed or even started to walk down. And with that SK Knight, with the GA in the bush, and you had the Alistar, they couldn't get onto it, so they couldn't even contest it. But they're so tanky that they could buy the time for Incept to get in.
Double TP to come on back in. Saw falls on down. It's just Toppy left standing in towards the wall, looking for the angle. The shutdown is there. The comeback is complete. And Variety Bucket, they'll stay alive in this tournament.
Holy God! That is a crazy game. That is such a crazy game. We have to remember, Mercury, we have to remember the two hands. Fido has two hands. One's gripping onto the Elder and one is gripping onto the Nexus, that Gnarl to save the day, and then just turning that game around for what looked like a disaster for Variety Bucket. What a crazy game.
They were on the Nexus. And then the save with the stolen Gnarl was what allowed them a few more minutes, and that's all they needed. The Elder Seal over the wall with the empowered Chemtech blast cone. I mean, you can't write a better.
You can't write this stuff. It's absurd. It is absolutely proof. It is absolute proof that Fido is a good team captain. As we take a look at this fight, the perfect distraction from SK Knight and Frog here. GA getting popped, but it doesn't matter. You can buy so much time. Incept is in there with the Grand Starfall, but take a look at Fido surviving throughout. A perfect look. Sonya's, so Saw doesn't get the damage off. Incept being able to distract him, and then Daisy's here to put out the rest of the damage needed.
Beautiful timing on that Sylas, right? Gets a bit of redemption for that Flash E that he failed earlier in the game. Landed the Flash E on towards Aqua, had no time to flash away. Gnarl into the wall, and that's the 80 carry down. That's a 10-8 Yunara, who's been popping off all game, instantly eliminated in this fight. And then this skirmish just roll into them and just win the fight team actually manages to make it work.
They did exactly that. They rolled into him. Everyone rolled with him. And it worked so well. It was just so beautiful to see. Every Zhonya's was perfectly popped for the side of Variety Bucket. We saw split second use that Ravage, attempting to get down Fido, who was running very low on health, but the dodge, that Zhonya's to dodge it, just let that team fight completely steamroll. And it was just a beautiful performance. We have, of course, do not forget, some lovely codes. Big thanks to Riot for them. So you're gonna want to vote for that MVP. I mean, is it a matter of question for you, Mercury? Who's the MVP on that game?
I think it has to be Fido, right? I mean, Daisy and Frog had amazing moments, Incept as well.
They
but
did.
I think it has to be Fido. From minute one, right, was the person who got that first kill for the team. Has been, the stalwart captain, didn't, choke under the pressure of having both of your towers down, still managed to compete even when the lights were bright.
I just can't believe that was the first game, that we can get an Elder Steal, that we can get an At the Nexus twist and turn back into a game win. Do you know what they were playing for, by the way, Mercury? They were playing to stay in the tournament, because Variety Bucket will stay firmly in this tournament as we say goodbye to Final Gen. And we will say goodbye to you as we take a small break. But we will see you back for the next game, which will hopefully be just as exciting. But thank you.
We need to
for now.
decompress after that.
We do. I mean, God, that was crazy. That was I gotta take a drink break. I really do. Crazy, but see you soon.